All right, so I wanted to show you real quick this really great tool. It's called the boolean tool, and it allows you to cut away from certain parts, and I'll explain what that means. So here's one way, one joint you could use for your for anything really. It's called a box joint or a finger joint, and this is just showing it with one, right? So I have basically these interlocking parts that kind of make together. It's one way to join your wood. It also looks nice. And in order to do this, right, I'll just recreate this drawing here. So what you want to do is you're going to draw your rectangles. You're going to basically create the butt joints, right? And then we'll cut away from the material after. So I'll walk us through this. So I'm going to create a sketch, front view here. And what I'm going to do is just draw a rectangle. We'll just say 4 by 3. I'm going to extrude the rectangle. I'll extrude this a 1/4 inch. You can check. Okay, so we have one side. Now I want to add a side here. Add these parts here. So I want to add a side on over here. So what I'm going to do is create a sketch on this surface. So I click on the surface, click sketch, hit N on my keyboard for normal 2 or the right view, and I'm going to draw that same side, corner rectangle from the top, snaps into place, and I'm going to make this again 4 across, and it will be 3 high. So great. Here's the difference. I want to draw the fingers right on this piece. So I'm going to come back over here and just delete this line. And now what I'm going to do is this line this is 3 inches tall. So I'm going to draw one finger that's going to be 1 inch. So maybe we can see it better if I delete this part. There we go. I'm going to come over the thickness, which is 0.25. I'm going to come down another inch. And you can see I kind of created this shape here. Accept this. Now, we have our part 3 already drawn. We want to extrude going into this part. So I'm going to click extrude. We're going to create a new part. I click what I want to extrude, all the pieces. I put my depth to the same as the other one, a 1/4 inch. Now, I'm going to extrude this. It'll look weird because it's entering the other part. I'm not adding, it's a new part. So when I hit the green check mark, you can see that we have 2 parts, right? The original part, part 3, is just a rectangle. Part 4 and has these 2 fingers here. And then it's blending. And we want to basically cut out the finger parts that are in part 4 and cut them out of this part here. So what I'm going to do is use this tool called the boolean tool. So if you search for this, boolean, right, it looks like a Venn diagram, right, 2 circles overlapping each other. For this, 3 things will come up: union, subtract, or intersect. We want to subtract, okay? So what we're going to do is click subtract. It's going to ask you for the tools and the targets. The tool is basically the drawing that you want to use to cut away from the other part. So in this case, we drew this shape here, right, with the fingers. We want to use that as our tool, and that's going to cut away from the other part. So I click this as my tool, and my target, right, is going to be my other part. So I click that, and you can see it cut away from the target. You also want to make sure you keep the tools. If you don't keep the tools, it will take away the other part, Depending on what you're doing, you might want to do that, but keep the tools if you're trying to create this box joint that keeps all the parts. I hit the green check mark, and now we have our updated part, and I have my box joint or finger joint that was cut out. Okay, that's one way, and you could do this to all four, right? You could mirror all these, but you could do this to create another type of joint, right? You could add multiple fingers, multiple box joints. That's kind of up to you.